Missouri's embattled governor, Eric Greitens, is facing growing pressure to resign after a series of scandals. In February, the first-term Republican was indicted on felony invasion of privacy charges after a woman claimed she had an affair with him back in 2015 before he was elected. She says he threatened to release a partially nude photograph of her if she exposed their affair. Then, earlier this month, Greitens was indicted a second time for computer tampering. Prosecutors say he illegally accessed a charity's donor list to seek campaign donations. Greitens denies any wrongdoing and says this is nothing more than a Washington-style political witch hunt. John Hancock is the former head of the Missouri Republican Party. Michael Kelly is the former head of the state's Democratic Party. Together, you host a political talk show. It's so nice to have an opportunity to chat with you both. Bipartisanship, I can't believe it.
Great to be here.
Thank you very much. All right, so on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not so much of a hot mess and 10 being a very big hot mess, where would you rate what is happening right now with your governor?
I would say a 10. We haven't seen anything like this in terms of politics.
We don't agree on much, but I'm going to give it a 10 as well. This is a big deal, and it's kind of a mess, and it's particularly a mess for my side of the aisle.
So before we move into that, because I do think that's a critical question, for those who don't know the full story, start for me where it really all began, because it really started before he ran for the governorship.
Right. So apparently in the early spring of 2015, Eric Greitens and his then hairdresser engaged in a relationship of sorts. It was positioned at the time when it became public, which was just this past January, and it's a sordid tale. The governor admitted to having a consensual relationship and wanted to move on from there. And since that has happened, the governor has been charged with a felony of invasion of privacy for taking the woman's picture after he had tied her up to his exercise equipment, blindfolded her, stripped her, and took a picture of her. And that's the basis of the felony charge for invasion of privacy.
Now there's a second felony charge.
I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to stop Eric Greitens other than being taken out in handcuffs or impeached by the Republicans. And I think that's the most probable thing that the Republicans will look at, because if they want to have an opportunity in this Missouri United States Senate campaign, they're going to need to have Eric Greitens off the front page.
So Democrats then have to be looking at Claire McCaskill and saying, well, once again, she's dodged a bullet. Last time around, I think someone sort of shot, her competition shot himself in the foot. What did he say? Was that the... He
said in cases of a legitimate rape, a woman's body has a way of taking care of those things.
Yes, I remember him. And
Claire McCaskill is one of the most talented politicians you'll ever meet. She knows how to take advantage of opportunities that are out there. And now when you have Josh Hawley, who's inexperienced, who's tied to this governor, Claire McCaskill is going to see a wound and she's going to expose it.
It feels to me like we're in a really interesting, in the bad way, time. Greitens is like the poster boy for the double down.
And to your point, Soledad, if you look at, you don't need to go too much further back in history to look at the case of Roy Moore in Alabama, where, for the good of the party, he should have stepped aside so that we could win that very winnable U.S. Senate seat, which matters in terms of the geopolitics of the country. And he refused to step aside. Likewise, in this case, Eric Greitens, who I will grant you this, he's doing horrible things with his family by putting them through this. But if you look at the party and the significance of the Senate race and what it could mean for control of the U.S. Senate, and to not remove yourself from being a cancer in that process, that's where politics is today, and it didn't used to be that way.
So then Greitens goes, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
How soon?
I'm going to say by the 3rd week of June.
Labor Day.
Let's mark the tape, shall we?
Oh, boy.
Michael Kelly and John Hancock, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet
Pleasure
you.
was mine.